Being a champion in the Triple H era is probably the worst thing that can happen to you, which is crazy to say, but it's true. Unless your name is Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, you're going to get the short end of the stick always when it comes to creative. It's either one or two things that happen when you become champion. You're relegated to backstage segments, not really wrestling and just kind of benched, or you only wrestle on PLEs and you just come out and cut promos every single week. Nothing really suspenseful, just the same thing almost every single week. It kind of just seems like Triple H doesn't really care about title reigns. It only cares about booking the moment, the story leading up there, how you got the title, and then once you have the moment, he just kind of moves on to the next storyline. We seen it last year when Bayley won the championship from Io Sky at WrestleMania, finally conquering Damage Control after they kicked her out. Her title reign was completely bad after WrestleMania. She got her feel-good moment, and then after that, it just seemed like Triple H didn't really care at all. Rhea Ripley, when she beat Liv Morgan on the Netflix premiere show, she spent the entire 2024 chasing after Liv Morgan and eventually winning the championship. And then after that, it was like the storyline was over. She got the moment, she finally beat Liv, won the title back. Io Sky is currently the Women's World Champion right now. She is the second most over babyface in WWE right now in the women's division. And she has not had a single title defense since WrestleMania 41. She beat the two biggest stars in the company, and she has not had a single title defense in 2 months. You made Io look like a complete afterthought in the build in a triple threat at WrestleMania, just for her to be a complete afterthought after WrestleMania, which is crazy. After WrestleMania, Io wrestled a couple matches against Stephanie Vaquer, Roxanne Perez, and Julia and Roxanne Perez. And since then, she has not wrestled in almost 2 months. No real stories or feuds lined up, just walking around backstage with the belt, and it's just inexcusable. Now she has an Evolution title match against Rhea on Sunday, and she's most likely going to lose and drop the belt on her first title defense since Mania. It's just crazy to say, but you're gonna have Io Sky drop the belt to Rhea on her first title defense since Mania. Potential matches that has been teased with Asuka, Stephanie, and maybe even a Kairi Sane matchup. You're just gonna give the title back to Rhea for what? Every time a woman is Women's World Champion on Raw, it doesn't even feel like a title reign, honestly. It doesn't even feel like if, but when eventually Rhea Ripley's gonna win it back. It kind of just feels like they're just holding the belt until creative is ready to just put the belt back on Rhea. Every reign just feels filler, and eventually Rhea Ripley is just going to eventually win it back. So that's just what it is. An Io Sky title reign is probably the easiest thing you can do. You could have easily just copied her NXT title reign onto her Women's World Championship reign. The last good Io Sky title reign in WWE was NXT. I think it's clear as day that Triple H isn't interested in title reigns. He doesn't monitor title defenses or days as champion. He likes booking the chase. Once he is done telling the story, he's on to the next. Zelina Vega wins the Women's United States Championship from Chelsea Green, and then her entitled title reign, she's just fighting the Secret Hervix and Chelsea Green on repeat almost every single week. I said in one of my videos that Julia is the chosen one. Julia is already the Women's United States Champion, and I expect her to have a very long reign and build that belt up and give it some prestige. Triple H is very much invested in her, and it is because of the look, her face. She has the look that Triple H wants. If you have the look, Triple H is going to push you. Look at Tiffany Stratton, for example. Tiffany Stratton, first year on the main roster, she's already got the rocket strapped to her back. Money in the Bank winner, Women's World Champion, and she pinned Charlotte Flair clean as a whistle at WrestleMania 41. Tiffany has that look that WWE really wants, that Barbie, that blonde Barbie look. Looks do matter in WWE. If you have the look they want, they're going to push you. Look at Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill has been chosen since day one by WWE. It doesn't matter how bad her in-ring is, how bad her promos, how bad her storytelling is. When the booker chooses you and he wants you to be the woman that he wants to push, it's gonna happen, and there's nothing we can do about it. Dominic Mysterio's Intercontinental title reign has been awful as well. He got his Mania moment, and since then it's been dreadful. No real storylines, zero promo time. I mean, Dominic is starting to get cheered now. Why hasn't Dom came out and cut a promo yet? He got his moment. He got his first singles title on the main roster. This should be a feel-good moment for him. Dom is just walking around backstage with the belt or just in the Judgment Day Playhouse, just not really doing anything at all. Before Becky Lynch came back, Lyra was the first women's IC champion, and there were so many weeks where she would have backstage segments and no promo time either. Literally, she would get segments on the commercial break for US viewers on Netflix. When Becky Lynch came back, she immediately was on TV more and was having more opportunities, more screen time, and promo time. Yeah, Lyra was having title defenses against Ivy Nile and Dakota Kai, but there was no real story there. It kind of just feels like the women's IC champion is more important than the women's world champion. The last good women's world championship feud in WWE was Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair, and that was a long time ago. All the women's feuds in WWE has been terrible. If you were to compare it to AEW's Toni Storm versus Mariah May, it's not even a comparison. This can go to Triple H's lack of booking or care for the women's division. Outside of WrestleMania, a Women's World Championship has not been defended on a PLE since October 2024 Bad Blood. The only good title reign under the new regime has been Gunther's IC title reign and the Bianca Belair Raw Women's title reign. That is it. And this is a massive problem. Nobody's telling great stories or cutting great promos. Main eventers and champions barely wrestle, and WWE got rid of live events. So if the champions are not wrestling every single week and they only wrestle once a month, they're going to be incredibly rusty. Rhea Ripley recently went on an interview with the Chris Van Vliet podcast saying that she had an anxiety attack before a match at WrestleMania 40 against Becky Lynch because she was barely wrestling throughout the year and she was rusty and felt pressure to deliver a good match because of the backlash she would get from the fans calling her Rhea Hogan and overpushed, which is a problem. So Triple H is making his talent doubt themselves and question their abilities because they're not wrestling at all. When Rhea Ripley was in the Judgment Day, she was Women's World Champion all throughout 2023 leading to 2024. She did not wrestle at all. She had 3 title defenses all year and she held the belt for 380 days. That is unexcusable, especially with the live events and house shows going. It's going to get even worse. Back in the day, the WWE, I grew up watching John Cena, CM Punk, Batista, Rey Mysterio, Undertaker. All the main eventers wrestled on TV every single week. I remember when I was a kid watching John Cena and The Undertaker versus DX versus Jericho weekly. We was getting those matches weekly, literally. Rey Mysterio versus Batista, John Cena versus CM Punk on a random Raw. In the Vince McMahon era, unless your name was Brock Lesnar or Goldberg, you were wrestling every single week. They've been showing that the Netflix numbers for Raw is at an all-time low. Every single week it's dropping almost every single week because there's no interesting storylines, no good promos, and no good title reigns at all. What is there really to look forward to the WWE if you were to be watching it right now? And you can make a point that AEW is a far better product than WWE right now. In the new Triple H era, it just kind of feels like title reigns are just dead. There will never be another good title reign in WWE. When CM Punk held the WWE Championship for 434 days, that was one of the best title reigns I ever seen. Stories, the promos he was cutting, CM Punk was the definition of a WWE champion. Great storytelling, great promos, great matches, week to week. CM Punk was there every single week, wrestling on pay-per-views, SmackDowns, Raw, house shows, you name it. Literally to the point where CM Punk was getting burnt out because he couldn't get no rest at all. Roman Reigns recently title reign for 5 years. Now, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but when you look back at his title reign compared to the title reigns we're having right now between Gunther, Cody, Cena, Roman Reigns had a good title reign. Now, was it the best title reign ever like people say? No, it was not. Roman Reigns, I think, is the last star that will have a title reign with much prestige as he had. I don't see a wrestler ever having a title reign as good as Roman Reigns or a CM Punk or a John Cena back in the day ever, because Triple H simply just doesn't care about title reigns. He just cares about booking the story. Okay, you got your moment, boom. Triple H just doesn't care. He doesn't care about title reigns. He doesn't care about the how many days you've held it. All he cares about is the story, the feel good moment. Yes, you got your moment. After that, he's on to the next storyline.